This is the story about an artist who would wake up every morning to check the weather, but he wasn't looking for sunshine or clear weather. This is the story of Monet, a French artist who fell in love with one specific atmospheric aspect of London city. He made art out of it, almost 100 paintings over close to 12 odd years. But I get the irony here. Here I am, struggling in Mumbai monsoon, celebrating the fog of London city. I get it. But stay with me, there is something interesting here. Today, we will talk about three things. One, why Monet fell in love with this idea of painting London in fog. Two, a secret to his creative process. And three, how can we approach our practice of creating or making things differently? Towards the end of this video, I will even share some of the images that I made in unique weather conditions. So here's how it all began for Monet. During the Franco-Prussian War, he fled to London. He found refuge there and then he went back to France. London was never meant to be a destination, it was just a stay for a brief period of time. But when he went back to France, there was something that stayed with him, the weather of this city. So he decided to revisit London, looking for that specific atmospheric element once again. And more than the fog, it was how light seeped through fog that fascinated him. Fog or smog is typically considered a hindrance to good light. It is something that artists try to avoid, but Monet was pursuing it in the same way that we would pursue good light. Out of that came a series of close to 100 paintings over 12 odd years, built around just 2 or 3 subjects: the Houses of Parliament, the Waterloo Bridge, the Charing Cross Bridge. 100 paintings, 3 subjects, 1 atmospheric aspect of the city. Now Monet is known for a lot of work that he did with the elements of nature: the garden, the water lilies, the landscape, the sunsets and the sunrise over water bodies. But here he made work in one of the biggest, busiest cities of the world at that time. One of the questions that gets discussed very often is, was Monet's work in London a major departure from his usual style? Because he wasn't really painting elements of nature, he was painting buildings and bridges which were man-made objects. Now, the answer to this question is even more interesting. Monet is considered to be one of the most influential artists of the Impressionist movement. Impressionist painters were not really interested in painting a very realistic version of the world. They were more interested in painting the impression it left on them. And the fog did exactly that. It created a layer of mystery over what was hiding behind its veil. In fog, you don't get to see the subjects clearly, you just see an abstract impression of the subject instead. So this fit beautifully with his style. He stayed true to the way he had always looked at the world. London simply gave him that way of seeing a different world, a different landscape. So London in fog may have featured paintings of buildings and bridges, but they were not really his subject. They were merely the objects he was painting. The subject was light. So here are 5 things that I learned from this story. 1. Mastery takes time. It is not achieved in 6 months, 3 months, or a week, as the internet may like us to believe. In fact, one of the reasons why many of us fail to achieve mastery is because we don't pursue a subject for long enough. As incremental gains become harder and harder to come by, we just tend to give up. 2. And this is something important for anybody, including myself, who is trying to create something, make something, or build something. We always tend to go for new ideas, new inspiration, new niche. But here was an artist who came with the same idea, the same subject, and the same aspect of light to create something truly meaningful. 3. Taste isn't something that we can invent out of nothing. It comes from staying open to ideas and then layering our own authenticity on top of it. 4. Personal growth often happens under what seems like bad weather. One way to make unique photographs, for example, is to photograph in conditions which are seemingly unfriendly or unique. So, hello rain, hello bad light, hello fog or smog. And here are some images that I have made in bad weather thanks to what I learned from this story. And lesson 5 is this: when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. Here was an artist who learned to hold two completely opposite things, beauty and ugliness, with the same amount of grace. So maybe beauty and ugliness are different sides of the same coin, and maybe great work can come out when we learn to hold both the opposite ends of the spectrum together with the same amount of grace.